I made it about 3 months into the fire service before my body started catching up with me. And at first, it was subtle, but after that, not so much. I was burning out and crashing hard. I would come home from a shift, look at the couch, and then say to myself, I'm just gonna sit down for maybe a couple minutes. I'm just gonna rest a little bit. And then, of course, like one of two things would happen. I would either doom scroll on my phone for 3 hours, or I would just fall asleep altogether and wake up feeling completely obliterated, right? I was losing major hours of my day doing pretty much nothing. Forget working out to stay in shape for the job. Like, how could I possibly find the energy to do something like that when I was running 6 calls after midnight? Like, not a chance. I'll tell you what, it didn't stop me from trying though, because the truth was I came into the fire service with a background in fitness and nutrition. But even that didn't help me because I still gained 25 pounds in my first year alone. And you know what the problem was? I was training like a civilian. I was training like someone who had 8 hours of rest and did no additional type of training in their routine. I ate like someone and trained like someone who had unlimited time and no other responsibilities. Well, sure, in my imagination, I could train for 6 sessions a week for 2 hours at a time and eat 6 meals a day, but in my reality, felt like I barely had time for even half of that. And that's what actually caused me to feel exhausted. I was trying to fit in more time than I actually had. Any spare time at all went to training and eating. Forget spending time with my family or my friends or the people that I cared about. The question that I kept coming back to in this time was like, how could I possibly justify those luxuries when I had the responsibility to stay in shape because I was a firefighter? And you know what the problem with thinking like that is, really, when you boil it down to its nuts and bolts, is you're going to break, you're going to fold. You're going to have issues with maintaining that over the course of 25 years. Like, I had trouble maintaining that for 6 months. And the real harsh truth is a lot of my relationships, including the relationship I had with myself, suffered because of this habit and the time I was spending on it. And it wasn't helping my life, it was making it worse. This is where the solution started to be formed. You see, what I did before was I refused to question the system. How could everything I had ever learned about training be wrong? It has to be me that's the one that's screwed up. It has to be me that's having the issue. I'm just not strong enough. I just don't have enough discipline. I can do more. I have to do more. I never stopped to ask, what if what I was doing wasn't actually practical? So I got serious. I sat down and I asked myself, is the problem my discipline, or is it just my natural human limitations working off of broken sleep, impaired recovery, and compressed time? If I were to accept that these were inevitable components of my lifestyle as a firefighter, then what would an appropriate practical system actually look like? How could I create something that only kept the essentials and removed all of the things that exhausted me? And to be honest with you, the answer was actually something that was so simple that it kind of stopped me in my tracks. If it felt like I only had 3 to 4 hours a week for working out due to energy and time, then instead of fighting against it, why don't I just accept what my body and my mind are telling me and then create something that works with that time frame? I was terrified to cut back on my training volume after 10 years of being told to do the exact opposite. But what happened shocked me more than I could have ever imagined. My strength skyrocketed and my muscles became more defined. I leaned down and lost the 25 pounds in a matter of just a few months. But the thing is, it was a much different look than before. And on top of that, I was lasting double the amount of time on a bottle during a structure fire. And more than anything else, I felt alive again, like full of energy for the first time since I had walked in through the front door. I was performing better and I was way more productive than I had ever been in my entire life, even before I got into the fire service. So it kind of made me ask a question. Why did this happen? How did I make such massive strides? How did I make more progress in 6 months than I had in the last 6 years combined. It was because of one thing. I was prioritizing recovery. I mean, call me crazy, but I actually listened to my body. I put the extra 8 to 10 hours a week into recovering fully, into getting extra rest, and into spending it with people and having experiences that filled up my cup instead of pouring from it further. 2-hour gym sessions for 6 days a week turned into 2 focused full body lifting sessions of 40 to 45 minutes and 2 days of cardio for about 30 to 40 minutes. And that's it. That was the secret sauce. Outside of that, I just gave myself permission to actually enjoy other things that made life worth living in the first place, because I realized that there had to be more to life than just working out and showing up on shift. At least I felt that way. And here's the thing, I have to imagine if I kept trying to do the same things over and over again, I would watch myself inside of the same vicious cycle that I had seen so many other firefighters stay stuck in. And it would go something like this. I would gain some weight until I got fed up with myself. Then I would hit the gym, get motivated, and do a hard routine for maybe about 6 weeks, and I would lose some weight, but then eventually I would burn out. I would crash and burn it down all together. Then I would spend probably another 3 to 4 months gaining that weight back, plus some, until I was mentally ready to try the same approach all over again, and then rinse and repeat. Watching firefighters do this time and again made me realize that there was actually nothing special about losing weight. In fact, almost every firefighter that I've ever met has done so at one point or another. The thing that was special wasn't losing weight, it was staying in shape, actually keeping the weight off, and staying consistent without feeling burnt out all of the time. And truth be told, this is what eventually led me to creating the free 12-week fat loss protocol designed specifically for firefighters. Not only is this the exact framework that I used for myself, but it is what has been used to help over 1,000 other firefighters around the continental United States do the exact same thing. Now, if you'd like to get your hands on your very own protocol, you can find it listed in a link in the description of this video. If I was able to convince you that this is the right way to think about your training, recovery first, but you'd like to know the actual split that I used to get there, then you can check out this video that I have listed right here. Outside of that, there's just one final reminder, the same as always, which is being in shape is part of the uniform, and the only person that can do something about that is you. Until next time.